Hi guys, hello. I was just on my channel doing like, I was doing a live stream, but like the horizontal one, and for some reason, I just don't feel like people were getting notifications, so I just decided to switch to my mobile, which is fine. I feel like this gives people a better view of what I'm working on anyways. Today's been oddly, suspiciously quiet. Someone told me it was Sabbath today, so if people do Sabbath, maybe that is why. I have started to do the view is better like this. Oh, that's good. That's good. Good to know. All right. Still very nervous about painting a person, but I'm working on the environment. Let's see. I'm going to take this and just darken up this a little bit. How are you? How are you since last time I saw you? Oh, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. We'll see what happens with these. I kind of want them to feel like translucent, which would mean though that I'd have to start putting some blue in here. So maybe I'll try that. I don't even know if translucent or opaque. Maybe. Let me do motion blur just to get a quick idea. All right, let's see. I'm getting anxiety playing up a bit today. I'm glad you're feeling better. Oh, thank you so much. Thank you for your kind words. Anxiety and I, man, we're buddies, so I feel this. They're the friend I never wanted, and they never leave, so I do feel this. I'm very sorry, because anxiety, I mean, I know anxiety is normal, right? Everyone feels anxiety. Our bodies are meant to experience it as a way to let us know that something is wrong or dangerous or off. But feeling it in excess and at unnecessary times is never fun. It's very frustrating. Like, thank you, brain, for telling me this is dangerous. According to everybody else, it's not. Really wonderful. Okay, I don't know that I'm like in love with this, but it's fine. I can always delete later. You guys know I'm okay with doing that to my stuff. Let me try putting in. I would also probably want some like red showing through a little bit here. Like, I don't even know if it's red, but like brownish red, orange colors. Hi everybody, welcome. If you're new, hello, I'm Bree. Hi, I'm a digital artist. I do other things. I am buried underneath all this. I am exploring polymer clay for funsies. Here's something I worked on earlier. It's not great, but it is done. And yeah. So where is my, I'm just gonna use my sleeve. Normally I have like my little screen, fancy screen wipe, but I don't know where it is. It's cool. But yeah, so I've been digitally painting for 15 years. Still learning, never stops. And yeah, I like to share what I know with others, as well as continue to learn myself. I appreciate y'all being here with me. And if you have any questions, feel free to ask. If I feel that I have the knowledge or the answer, I will let you know. All right, I'm just gonna like leave this alone for now. And the colors on here are showing up so vibrantly. In person, it doesn't feel that vibrant, but when I look down, like, okay, fine, it needs a little bit more work. I'm sorry. America's not doing great right now. They're not liked. I don't blame other countries for how they're feeling towards us right now. Or ever, honestly. I'm just for now going to duplicate this and as a placeholder so we can start getting the visual of the environment done. Put this here, flip horizontally. Hi there, welcome. Okay, so we would put this here and just sort of squish. Good enough for now. So we have that. It's amazing, like what just a few objects, you know, putting some things in a space can do. Alrighty, let's see. I want to make the window next, I think. So the window, what are the panes? The panes. Okay, so I'm gonna add this here. I'll start with black and then we'll lighten them up. It's usually best to do when you're working in like a dark scene, to start dark and then work your way lighter. Okay. just duplicate this, and then I'll turn. And then I'm going to use distort so I can help bring a little more perspective to this. So it'll be a little bit wider since it is coming closer this way, and a little bit more slender, thinner as it goes that way. Hi. Oh, thank you so much for your kind words. Hello. How are you? I might even add one more of these. Like that. And then I would have to change the perspective of this, but that's fine. I don't mind. I think I could probably do something like that, question mark. What do you guys think? That or that? I feel like I need something to remind me of perspective. Oh gosh, so funny you said that. So I wish I was a perspective drawer. I did take perspective when I was in college. What I will say though, in Procreate, which can help. I feel like my son's coming up, so give me one sec. I'm gonna mute this while he talks to me. I'll be right back, guys. One sec.
It's literally just like.
That's very loud, baby.
And then if we were out of the car where the windows were open,
yeah,
that would be hurting our ears like crazy.
I bet.
Now we know where he lives.
That's awesome.
That's basically our Siren Head Forest.
Ooh, very cool, Swoopy.
And this is like a rarely one-time thing that happens in like the fall, I think.
Yeah.
Where it's close to Halloween time because that gives him time to rest.
Ooh. So
we could be strong.
That's awesome, Bubba. Thank you for sharing with me, baby. Are you gonna go do your experiments?
Yeah, but Royce got scared and so we went down to the first
Sorry, 1 second.
We went down to the first bridge, and then we turned around. We heard.
That's so cool.
We kept hearing it so much.
Oh my goodness.
It was insane.
Yeah.
All right, enough. Like, Daddy said maybe tomorrow or the day after tomorrow I could go again without Roy, so we'd go far.
Sure. Yeah, I'll stay here with Roy and your daddy can go.
See him. We only heard him. We didn't see him this time.
Okay. That sounds good, baby.
All right, bye.
All right, bye. Thank you. Sorry. He's very into Siren Head. If you have no idea what that is, that's okay. Let's see. Oh, I remember. So you asked about perspective, so sorry for the delay. Um, so if you're looking to, and it might be easier if I just put on a new, let me just clear this. Clear. Okay, so if you want to do perspective drawing, it helps to put on guides. So under Canvas, there's this option of drawing guide. If you turn on drawing guide and then hit edit drawing guide, not only can you do this, but you can also do this, which for some reason isn't showing up, but it is there. No, normally, okay, so we've got these. This can help. Maybe I'm misremembering what this does, but you can use these for helping in perspective, especially for buildings at different angles. So, and also for like lettering, calligraphy, stuff like that. So, you know, if you were trying to make sure everything was going in the right direction, this would be helpful. And if you write, what am I making, you ask? Great question. I have no idea. But, or if you're making like a city, right? So this would be like the top of the building. This would be the side. And then you could make an entire city with using this perspective. Okay, so the guides make you confused. That is, it's hard because without the, like, I don't typically use the guides, but you can do, okay, I am not a perspective expert, so I would recommend finding someone who talks a lot about perspective. I know there's artists out there. There's a lot of, I think with perspective guide, you tap the middle to do the horizon line. Thank you. Yeah, that could be a bed. Yes. Yes, it could have been a bed. I can make a bunch of stuff at different angles using this guide. With perspective, it's been a long time. There is math and stuff that could be used for it. I personally don't take my perspective that seriously, but I'm also not I'm not an artist that typically does interior painting very much, and I also don't typically have to worry about like if I was doing like a cityscape or something like that. That doesn't mean I won't try it or that I won't get invested in it, but that's just something I haven't done a lot of studying of. The last time I studied perspective, like I said, was in college, so it's been like, oh god, 15, 16, 17 years. So I remember the basics, but really you'd have to have all the, what is it, the protractors and all that to get it right. What I recommend doing is using perspective. So what helped me create this window pane in the first place, I have a photograph. Here's the photograph. I took the general style of like essence of it, but I plan on making an entirely different piece. It also has just a couple of different things going on in the areas. I made a bigger window, etc. So that helped me figure out my overall perspective, at least for where I wanted this part to be. And once I knew where this was, making the rest of the scene is a little bit easier. I do need one more of these down here. And there's lots of good materials that you can get from like Pexels, Pixabay, Unsplash. I know there's more, but those are like websites where you can get royalty-free images, and you can use those for your reference. And awesome, cool. So I studied, sorry, I am all over the place. My brain's all over the place. So I went to school for media arts and animation, so 2D and 3D animating, as well as just other medias, and those other medias were Photoshop, InDesign, Illustrator, those types of things. And I ended up Flash. I don't even know if Flash is something that you use in the industry anymore, but that is another program that I learned back then. So, yeah, but I ended up, I did 3 of 4 years and ended up having to drop out because couldn't afford school. I was supporting myself. So I was working 3 jobs just to be able to go to college, and then it became a choice between, so I'm like, I can see, okay. It became a choice between, paying rent or going to school, and rent came first. And I came from an abusive home, so going back in my mind was just simply not an option. So I ended up dropping out, but I think I was able to maintain the skills that I did learn and apply them in other ways. So yeah, but that's what I studied. I went on later in life to study other things. I didn't go to college for those. I got certifications and stuff like that. But so I'm a certified nutrition coach, life coach, and relationship coach as well. I spent the last 3 years coaching people in recovery after abuse. And yeah. And now I'm focusing on writing and drawing and just trying to enjoy my creativity. Oh, thank you for your kind words. You are so sweet. I think in some ways, dropping out ended up being a blessing for me, because I really didn't, at the end of the day, I actually ended up not liking animation, and I thought that's what I wanted to do. Turns out all I really wanted to do was draw and paint. I didn't actually want to animate. Though there are definitely positions that you can get where you would, in the animating world, where you could be more focused on digital drawing than animating. But yeah. All right, now I'm going to put in the, I'm going to put a bookshelf over here. And then once I have all, oh, hi, Mary. Once I have the bookshelf in, I'll do a little bit, I'll show you guys my bookshelf brushes that I made. So if anyone is interested in going and checking that out, you can. I do have a tutorial on how to be able to make something like this in like 2 to 3 minutes. I also use those same brushes over here on this piece. And yeah, so hopefully we can build a bookshelf really quick back here. I do plan on also doing some clay. Hi, Mary. Look. It's not the cutest, but it's, I think, considering I've not done this before, I feel pretty proud. I feel pretty proud. I'm also from broken home. My parents got separated. I'm sorry to hear that. I am very sorry. I know it can be difficult. People underestimate the trauma of a broken family, and oftentimes the broken family is broken long before the separation part. And it's not easy. I do feel like, though, at this point in my life, thankfully, I feel really happy with who I am. Of course, I still have trauma, but I don't feel like it controls me anymore. Before, it kind of felt like it was my whole personality. And believe me, it's still there. It's definitely a part of this wonderful weirdness that you get, but it doesn't feel like it's in the driver's seat. It just kind of feels like it's a part of me, but not who I am. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Happy birthday, Miss Mary. You guys, it's Mary's birthday. Say happy birthday if you feel up for it. Yes, we do got this. We do. And I'm going to do another rectangle because rectangles are life. And put it here. Okay. Happy birthday, Miss Mary. All right, and then we shall add vertical line this way and fill. Let's get this, there we go. And there we go. Birthdays are always so hard for me to like be like, to celebrate, like, the amount of times someone's like been like, oh my god, what are you doing for your birthday? I'm like, absolutely nothing. Like, food. I plan to eat. That's what I plan. Like, I almost envy people that can be like, guys, it's my birthday. And like, I like go all out. I'm like, teach me. I feel like, all right, let me take this away. I have literally, like, this last year, by the way, guys, if you don't know what your values are, and if you have no idea what I'm talking about, Brene Brown has this really fantastic, I'm getting to my point. I swear there's a point to what I'm about to say. By Brene Brown, there is this really wonderful exercise for you to help identify what your core values are. And a lot of people might think that you know what your core values are, but the way that she does a really good job is basically she's like, most people only have one core value and sometimes two, but it's always two at most, essentially. And so she teaches you how to figure out what your actual two or one value is. And it's cool because basically everything folds into it, right? So like, let's say family is your number one value. Then that means, like, for example, you work to provide for your family. You like strive to improve your relationships in your family. Like, your family's at the core of all of your focus, right? So but for me, my two that I discovered a few years ago was authenticity and creativity. And those two are like my fundamental like values. And so authenticity, being the most authentic person I can be, being having the most authentic relationships that I possibly can, being authentic in my relationships, and being surrounded by authentic people, very important to me. I don't like fakeness. I don't like I don't like facades. I don't like masks, though I understand neurodivergent masking. I do it too. But I want people to be who they are and unapologetic about it. And I also want to be able to be that too. So authenticity is so, so, so important to me. And then obviously creativity. Once I identified that, and then I committed the last year to really being like, how can I show up more authentically and how can I show up more creatively? I feel like putting intention behind that has really allowed me to just sort of blossom into embracing even more creativity, you know. I have taken the 16 personalities test. I have. I am an INFJ, I believe. The advocate? I think I'm the advocate, if I remember correctly. Yes, that is moi. That is me. But yeah, I'm very passionate about like figure out who you want to be and then chase it. Chase it with everything that you got. Life is so short. We spend so much time trying to be what everyone else wants us to be. And, you know, we end up postponing our dreams because of it. It's just, I never ever want to go back to being anything other than who I am now. And it took me so long to be comfortable with that. Twinsies! Oh my gosh, do you know how many INFJs I have as friends? It's not even funny. It's like swung the other way. It's not funny, but now it is starting to be funny. Okay. All right, so now we have the base for our bookshelf down. And I'm going to add, and then all the way at the tippy top of all my brush sets are my brushes for my books. So if you guys do want INFJ, so there's this thing online called the 16 personalities, and 16 personalities. I'm looking it up. Trying to like, I think I stands for, is it introverted? Or am I just making that up? And I'm a INFJA. I'm not a INFJT. So anyways, there's a 16 personalities test online, and it's a very thorough test. I've taken it several times over the last 3 years because I use this as a tool with my clients to help them get to know themselves better. And mine has always come back an INFJ. My percentages might change slightly here or there, but like in terms of like the ways in which they rate you, but I've always come up an INFJ. What do you stand for? Nothing lights up an INFJ personality like changing someone else's life for the better. I would agree with that. Oh, that's too funny. I really wish I could remember what these all stand for. I'll figure it out. Okay. So introverted, intuitive, feeling, and judging. So judging does not necessarily mean, like, I know like we have a negative connotation for judging, but it doesn't mean judging in that context. I'm trying to remember the way that they described it. I think it's almost like a discerning quality. It's very good. It's a very thorough, awesome test. When I got certified as a life coach and a relationship coach, that actually was one of the resources that we were given, and they said, you know, these would be great for your clients, and I was like, okay. Look at these little books just hanging out in the background, needing some love. They just want to be read. And I have one down here that I didn't mean to put. My bad. Okay, so there's that. And then I'm going to do another layer. And I'm going to do some stacked books. think I need to make this one lighter though, because these are a little bit harder to see. And I'll adjust it in a second. Duplicate. Let's resize. And now I can get the colors where I want them. It is worth taking, yes. It's very good. And I'm going to adjust this a little bit darker as well. Actually, I'm going to keep that, and the way that I'm going to adjust this one is, this is really the only problem. So I'm going to take my automatic selection tool and just grab that one, and then I'll just make the one darker. And then that way, that's not dark enough. That way though, I don't have to worry about repainting everything. However, it does have that weird outline, so let me take care of that. So automatic. So by pulling this over, the threshold sliding from left to right, I'm increasing the threshold. So when it grabs it, it's grabbing more, right? So I want to go back. There we go. So now I should be able to influence just this. There we go. Alrighty. But as you can see, these book brushes make it really, really quick and easy to just build a bookshelf. I'm gonna leave this one because I don't really mind that it's lighter right there, since it is closer to the light source. I can adjust it later, but I'm not gonna worry about it for now. Take this down a notch, and I'm gonna do this, except not that large, and on a separate layer. There. And I'm gonna just duplicate this. There's no need for me to go through all the trouble that I did. And just move it down here. There we go. I'm gonna combine all these. So one thing that's nice about combining these is they are separated. So if I need to move something around, as long as they're separated from one another, I can without influencing the others. And now I'm going to do this. I do want to make this just a tiny bit brighter so that I can see what I'm grabbing. So give me a second. I am going to... That's not what I meant to do. Okay, grab that one. I'm going to lighten this one because it doesn't show up when it's darker. And then I'm going to grab this one. And make it darker so it blends in a little bit better with the others. And then when I go to darken them all, for some reason one's being a butthole, but it's fine. It's cool. I don't know why. And now I lost the other book. How? Why? Who? What, where, when? Grab and grab. Thank you. Sheesh. I see this here. I see you. I don't know why this became such a chore. Guys, whatever you're saying right now, ignore it. Pretend this never happened, okay? Well, I'll be happier for it. I am. Hi. Hello. I started this one The only thing I had done was the girl, but not like her sweater or anything. That's new today. I did do some adjustments on her hair and a little bit on her face and ear, but I basically just had a flat version of the colors, and then I've been adding all the rest of this today. I'm just gonna get rid of this. I don't even know why I worked so hard to try and keep it. It's not working. So I'm gonna just grab this one, copy, and move it up here and just move on with my life as I should have done in the first place. And then I'm also going to grab this one and copy it, and then I'm gonna, maybe not, I'm going to grab it and then copy and paste, and then I'm going, why? What is happening? Is this... What layer did I put this on? Is it on this one? Where did this one go? I am genuinely so confused. Okay, it's here. Okay. There we go. Guys, I'm so sorry for the confusion. I'm going to combine this now, and I'm going to cry a little bit. It's fine. I'm fine. Now I'm going to do this and copy and paste. And put it over here. And I'll probably just put a single stack. Here. Maybe I could put some, like a candle here. Something. Or maybe I move this over because these are kind of dark, so just to offset the color flow happening. And down here it really doesn't need to be anything perfect, so I will grab this, copy, bring it down, and then flip it horizontally so it doesn't look identical. And now we have a bookshelf. Ta-da! We're not done, but that's a start. Tis a start. Would be helpful if you grab the correct brush. Dun, 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 dun. All right, I don't want to do too much blue. I definitely want the blue to help make this like stand out, but I really want to try putting in some warm yellow light so I can account for this yellow light on the back of her hair, and I'd like to add more if possible. So let's see if I can add a candle. I'm gonna be super lazy and I'm just gonna grab one of these candles so I don't have to repaint. Guys, don't ever work long. Shortcuts all the way, okay? No, you can do it however you want. So I'm just gonna copy that layer and then go back into this one and paste. And now we have magic floating candles in her in her room. Okay, so let's erase what I don't need. So I don't need that. And I gotta get rid of that without disrupting everything else. Not possible, apparently. That one looks fine, so we'll just keep that one. And I might just keep that one because I like the way that it's shaded. This one's also okay. All right, so let's see if I can figure out a way to incorporate these candles, and then I will paint in some different, slightly different lighting with them. But let's start. Maybe I can put, let's do freeform. Maybe I make it like a squished one. And then I can grab this, and maybe I can put it squished like here, or maybe one here. And then maybe I can do two here like this. I know it doesn't look good right now, but we'll get there. So for now, even though it makes no sense, I'm just going to take the opacity down and touch on them for now, which does make them transparent. I'll adjust and fix that later, but I just, they're too bright for the current setting, so I don't want them to distract. Trust the process. Thank you. Yes, trust the process. That is what this is definitely going to require. I still have this completely, like, what have I been doing with my life? Like, bring in some of the colors I'm using, man. Okay. More of like an orange, creamsicle, peach. Okay. And I am on an add blending mode. Make sure this is smaller. So we can start adding in new colors to try and create like an environment now with this warm light. And then I will ground these in here. But I'm just going to focus on getting some light on some of these things. Which also means I'll be able to put light in her hair. Just not that concentrated. I could probably get away with a few strands. And then I'll just want to make sure that I am blending it in. So I'm using the Inca brush. Hi. So yes, I did finish this one yesterday. I did do a few adjustments on it this morning on the bookshelf, so I'll show you, but that was pretty much it. I really didn't fiddle with it too much. So this was before, and when I stepped away from it yesterday and then came back, I was like, this is too light of a color in the background. It would be black, right? It would be really dark. So I made that adjustment. And so now the bookshelf is hopefully corrected in color. And the only other difference that I made was on the floor. I made it teal instead of the orange. And oh, I guess, sorry, third change was onto the face. So I just felt like the colors were a little bit too muddy. Muddy being, because it took me forever to realize that I was doing this. So when I go darker, I tend to grab grayer, meaning that this is really, it's too much in the gray, especially for the brightness and all of the other colors going on. And so for skin tones, I do have the tendency to accidentally make it too muddy. And skin, no matter what skin tone you have, does tend to be more on the warmer side. And so I wanted to try and enhance the face a little bit with just a little more warmth. I still kept some of the coolness to the shadowed areas, but overall just added some warmth. So yeah. Like even this is probably still too muddy, but I also haven't really worked on her, at least her shading on her face and stuff. I have just enough to be suggesting that there's shadow, but not enough to actually create detail yet. Oh, thank you. I'm sure, again, if I just take some time away from it, I'm sure I'll find even more to like fiddle with and be like, oh, I don't know about this. But for now, I feel pretty good about how it's turned out. So now I'm again just going to. Nope, that's just a scratch. It's not a hair. Okay. I'm going to put in the environmental light that I feel we would see from the candles being present. Definitely up here on this one. Maybe a little bit here, maybe a little bit here, depending on if the books overlap a little bit or not. I can just take the eraser and thin that out if I have made it too wide. All right, and so for this side, I might try and do this blue, so that way we're seeing this cool light from the outside starting to impact the books over here. Not a lot, just enough to show us that they're present. Like that was too much, but this one maybe I could get away with. And it's subtle, it's not a huge deal. But I do find that the details do add up over time. I hope to like one, not have them see through, but also like put them in some sort of like holder and then have a little bit more of a glow to them again. But I think this is just a good placeholder, a good start for us to get an idea of how it's gonna look. So that I also don't have to like repaint entirely from scratch and from the start. If I already have it painted and it fits in the piece, no need to do, twice the amount of work. Is that lazy? Maybe. I am a big fan of work smarter, not harder, so that's what I think of this as. I think it's coming together nicely. I wasn't expecting it. Just being honest. So I'm pretty excited right now. I love it when I surprise myself. I feel like the face in the window, like the hands face in window, are probably going to be the hardest for me because I'm not sure. I was thinking of having maybe not a moon, but like moonlight sort of like radiating from a moon that's like up here out of the view. And maybe some starlight. I also was thinking of like a silhouette or silhouettes of some sort of landscape in the background. Not necessarily black, but very like dark and muted. So you know, like a dark blue, but not a black, you know. I could do a tree if I wanted, something like that. I feel like that could work. I'm doing a very quick, just a quick doodle. You know, some sort of, that's not the brush I wanted to use. I'll try this one. That's also not how I wanted it to look. Okay. And then Gaussian blur. And then maybe some like stars, maybe. And let's do, oh my goodness, I'm struggling. Obviously, the stars will hopefully look prettier. Maybe something, you know, simple like that. Ooh, I could definitely try the dewdrops on the window. Yes, and I could absolutely make this part. I can blur this so it's like out of focus in the background, yeah. All right, so I'll just keep that as a placeholder just so we know what we want to see there. I can also, I have it so there's not that light, but I do like the gradient, I think. I think it helps with some of the other lighting that I tried to have here. Can you mark someone else's territory? Okay. All right, and then we'll take the blue here. Ew, no, I will not be voting for Trump. Please go away. I don't know if I've made this clear, guys, but you're welcome. For starters, politics is not. This is not a place to talk about it. Okay, there's plenty of channels, plenty of places. You want to talk about it? Great, go there. You want to go fight with people about that person? Go for it. Just no. I have a lot of other thoughts, a lot of angry thoughts, but I'm gonna keep them to myself. I'm not gonna lose my art flow because of that. Oh, I'm okay for right now. Thank you so much for offering. I very much appreciate that. Thankfully, I don't get too many trolls that I worry about it too often. I try really hard to allow people the opportunity to change their attitude before I get rid of them. But some people just can't. And, you know, some people don't want to change. That's fine. I'm having angry thoughts too. I'm glad I'm not alone, guys. Thank you. I'm trying not to remain positive. The world's on fire. Somehow I can keep a smile. Oh, that's what it feels like. I don't know if you guys can hear my husband. He's talking to the TV. Foosball's on. Like, ugh. Enjoy your foosball. Also, if someone in here likes football, I'm very happy for you. It's a point of contention in our household, but if it makes you happy, that's great. Love that for you. Don't love it for me, but I love it for you. Oh man. I know. I always feel like I'm probably a little too slow to block people. I probably should be a little better about it. I really try to feel like everyone is welcome so long as you can, you know, not bring up topics that are going to upset people. We're good. And if you're going to bring up topics that upset people, do it respectfully, you know? Right? Yeah, it wasn't relevant. Exactly. Okay. I'm pretty happy with this bookshelf. I feel like I've done enough bookshelves this month to feel like a competent bookshelf drawer, painter, both. Illustrator, all the words. Okay, and like we would need to have like light on here. Might even need more so they aren't flat. They're three-dimensional. They have a whole side. A whole side to them. They even have this here as well. I feel like that adds to it, right? Or am I just... I could make it darker. Like, I'll try that in a second. I'll see if making these darker would help. If like the highlights it's too highlighty. We'll see. You guys, I've already, like, I'm not complaining per se, because I'm not one of, like, I don't dislike necessarily that Christmas stuff is, like, out. Like, I know it can be upsetting for some. It doesn't bother me per se, but I also am always shocked by the fact that it's out. So, I haven't gone out in public and seen Christmas yet, but what I have seen it twice now, is, like, these random lives pop up with, like, Christmas decorations, and I'm like, what? No way. Like, what? I saw a Christmas tree like 2 days ago, and then randomly a wreath showed up, and I was like, okay, cool. It does look like snow. I was thinking that too. Which isn't a bad thing per se, but I'm going to put this on its own layer and just kind of test out different colors. Boop. Let's see. What do you guys think of something a little bit more subtle? Like that. So, before, after. I'm going to make the decision. I'm sorry. I know I asked for your opinion, but I'm definitely going to go with this one to start. Yeah, it is super bizarre. Like, again, I don't really mind. Like, I like holidays. Like, I kind of consider them like a run-on sentence once we start, like October 1st. So it doesn't necessarily bother me per se, but it is shocking that I'm like, wow, you guys are already pushing and we haven't even gotten through October, like Halloween yet. That is dedication right there. And I'd also be lying if I didn't think, maybe I should start making some Christmas stuff. I haven't yet. And I'm definitely going to wait until after October 31st. You know, last year, I don't even know if my kids want to go trick-or-treating or not. Last year, my kids dressed up, and then they didn't want to go trick-or-treating. They wanted to hand out candy. So they just manned the door and handed out candy instead of going and getting candy. Which is fine. They're very excited to wish people a happy trick-or-treat and send them away with candy. Right? I'm feeling very cozy, and it's very gloomy today. So it felt like, yeah, we've had clouds all day. It just felt like a good day to like actually tackle this piece and like get familiar with it again. You can tell me if you guys dislike this part or not. I'm just gonna add it, and then we can always delete it later. So I have a 5-year-old and an 8-year-old. So I have no doubt that my youngest will want to go trick-or-treating because he loves candy, but my oldest has he has an eating disorder it's not bulimia and it's not anorexia. It's not even closely related to that. It's called ARFID, right? ARFID. And basically it's an eating disorder around that's based on anxiety, so like fear of basically food and certain foods. So it's very common with kids that have autism, but you can have, I think, ARFID without autism. So he only eats foods that are like beige. I've gotten him to eat a few times outside of the beige realm, but it's very uncommon. And even if it is beige, it doesn't make it safe. For example, eating rice. He had a couple years ago, we tried feeding him rice as practice because we have to do exposure therapy, so we have to plan trying new foods and stuff like that. And so he ended up throwing it up, and all he had was 2 grains of rice. But the texture and the unfamiliar flavor overwhelmed him, and he immediately threw it up. And he's not trying to be dramatic. He just literally, that's his reaction to something that feels foreign and unsafe. So it's we have to like work him up slowly to new foods. He's never, since at least 2, he's never eaten a vegetable. He has had fruit, but only bananas and apples. And apples he's never taken a full bite of, but he's licked them, and he's like gotten just super tiny little bits and like chewed that, but not taken an actual bite. Bananas he's fine with. He can eat that normally. But yeah, food's a little tough. It's very hard. It is really hard. So he really doesn't have any interest in candy. I have seen him have a popsicle, which was a huge deal. The fact that he had a popsicle was like, I've never celebrated my kid having sugar so much. But yeah, it is like beige, like his beige foods consist of things like, don't worry, we have a doctor for him and everything. And he has what's it called? A prescription like Pedialyte type thing. But popcorn, beige. He'll eat Cheerios, oatmeal, and then overnight oats. So he'll do hot oatmeal, and then he'll do the sitting in the fridge overnight oats. Pretzels, tortilla chips, French fries, He does bread sometimes, and we put what's called like nutritional yeast on it, with garlic salt, so kind of tastes like garlic bread a little bit. He'll have that sometimes. I've gotten him to try a chicken nugget, but he wasn't a fan. But we're still working on it. Like literally, and oh, pancakes is another one. And he'll eat something consistently for like a month, and then out of nowhere, just like, no, I don't like that anymore. And oh my God, it gets so hard when that abrupt change happens, because I'm like, your diet is already so limited. But like nutrition wise, he's fine, but it's really hard. My husband and I both are certified nutrition coaches, and then my husband's a personal trainer. So nutrition is really big and important to us in our house. So it's actually really, really challenging having a kid that like you want to feed and you want them to have a good relationship with food and love food, and that is not their lived experience, you know? But I have OCD with food, and so I do understand some of his difficulties. So my eating isn't as rigid as his is, though, and I don't want to be rigid. Like, I would love to be more adventurous and stuff. Sorry, I went on a ramble there. All right. And then this down here definitely needs to be darker. And probably with a gradient of some kind. I also, I'm probably just going to make this dark down here so that way, no, is it this? Okay. Because I think that would just overall help bring it together. You're a good mom. My friend has ARFID all growing up and was shamed by her parents and forced to eat things. It sounded traumatizing. Yes. I actually learned about ARFID because I was listening to a podcast, and the girl was sharing her story about what it was like growing up with it, and nobody understood that about her. And I don't think ARFID was added into the DSM-5 until like 2000, like 12 or something like that. Like, it's definitely on the later side, and you know, people just didn't understand, like, it wasn't a matter of being a picky eater, because my son is not trying to be difficult. He's not trying to get his way. He's not trying to have like, oh, but I want the snack first or anything like that. He legitimately is like, he cannot eat certain textures or foods, and he has a huge fear of throwing up. Like, that is one of his biggest fears. And so he associates new foods with growing up. So it's really hard to work with him through that fear, because it's not necessarily an irrational one. It's very much a likely possibility that he will have that reaction. And so, you know, I can't lie to him and be like, oh, there's nothing to worry about, just do it, because he's likely going to experience that. So, and he's young, so it's hard to, sometimes make those things make sense to someone that's young. But that's really, I know that people didn't know better back then, but I do know there's probably a lot of adults out there who have ARFID and didn't know it and suffered from a lot of shame. The amount of parents that have come after me to tell me that I'm a bad mom and I'm just giving in. I'm like, or I have literally talked to his doctors and nutritionists, and I've had him hospitalized because we couldn't figure out what was going on with his health. Like, and by the way, he was hospitalized for something else, but that ended up getting he I have an autoimmune disease and he has it too, and we didn't know that he had it until he's all of a sudden one day he stopped being able to have full functioning of his legs. He does now. He's totally fine. He's been in physical therapy, rehab. He's good. But at the time, we didn't know what the heck was going on. And when he went, we were supposed to just see a nutritionist, but and so we talked about his like trauma around food. And they were like, so what's going on? And they're like, with his walking, we're like, we're not really sure. We've talked to the doctor. They said there's nothing to worry about, but he's struggling to walk. And they said like it was because he had bruises on his knees, so they thought it was just because, like that he had just played too hard. But the thing was like that the bruises on his knees had been severely discolored for like a full month without any healing. So, and we had taken him to the doctors twice and they kind of brushed us off. I don't think they meant to. I genuinely think that they believed everything was fine. But when he wasn't able to walk and we just happened to have a doctor's appointment at a children's hospital that day for like his nutrition and stuff like that, they were checking him out and they're like, we're actually really concerned that he can't walk right now. And we were like, okay, that's good. We are too. And then before we knew it, we were staying. My husband had to stay. I had to come home because we had our baby at home with grandma. But so they ended up having to do all these tests. It's very uncommon that children have the autoimmune disease that I have, which is Hashimoto's. But he actually has it. They were checking him for like rheumatoid arthritis and like all kinds of other stuff because they just were like, we don't understand. But once he was medicated for the Hashimoto's, then he was able to start walking again. And then we also found, similar to me, because of Hashimoto's, we tend to have a really difficult time absorbing iron. So I'm constantly in a chronic state of anemia, no matter how much iron supplements I take and like what I eat. So anyway, so he suffers from that too. So that was part of why he was weak. So it was like a whole thing. My goodness, it was a whole thing. Still is, but not the same degree, thank goodness. He's healthy. He's good. Let's see. So that everyone thought she was just spoiled. Yep, or a picky eater, right? And it's so not that. It's not. And yeah, I'm glad he's better now. It was during the pandemic that all this happened. So it was it was a little stressful, but it's fine. Like, there's a lot of people suffering out in the world and we're really lucky. He's good now. We have his health under control. We have good doctors. This poor kid definitely has so much of my make and model. I'm so sorry, child. I did not mean to give you my generational trauma and my genes. I'm so sorry. If only I knew. Alright, I'm going to see if any of these blending modes. Maybe that one. Maybe. Kind of like screen. Is this too bright though? Yeah, it's too bright. All right, just put it back at normal. It's fine. Or is normal anyways. That doesn't look right. Oh, it's because I'm not on that one. Sorry. Brain, oh brain. But maybe I can make this just a tiny bit darker. If I were on the correct layer, how is it that it keeps moving back up there? Maybe that? Question mark. It's so hard. It's so hard to tell. And I'm going to, on a different layer, add, I'm gonna grab this color. Let's see. All right, I'm gonna draw for like 10 more minutes, and then I'm gonna go try and decompress a little bit. And give me my knits. It's funny that they look like this. Does it work the right way? Oh. Larger? Question mark? Or just not dark enough? Just not dark enough. Then. Okay. Oh my god, I can't get this size right. I am so surprised by how quickly this piece has been coming together. Is that just me? Okay. This. And I'm just gonna grab these over here and make these just a little bit lighter and brighter. There we go. And I could probably do that, like afford to go in on some of these as well and just make some of them a little bit like lighter. Let me see how like that looks. It's okay. I don't want to like do that right this second, but something along those lines. does feel cozy. I still have to do the face and figure out the book. I'm thinking I'll just take text from like a photograph and then put it on there. Let me see if I can find one. Let me just move this off screen for a sec. I could get away with this one. Download. What are you doing out there, person? What you doing? Okay, and then I'm going to insert and put that there. Okay. Did you? Okay. Okay. Here we go. So I'm going to shrink this down. I'm just going to grab what I need. So this side has glasses. I don't need the glasses. So I'm just going to grab the rectangle selection, and I'm going to start on this side actually, and then move over to grab what I need, and then copy. Nope, I'm out of, okay, combine that. Combine those, thank you. And then I'm going to select, copy. All right, so now that I have this, I'm just going to bring it down to here. So I do want one there, but I also want one here. I'm going to get it hovering, but we're going to make it so that it actually rests. What's happening? I know, right? What is happening? So we're going to put this on here. Later we'll choose, like, multiply might be a good clipping mask for that, but let's do normal for now so we can see what we're doing. So I just imported an image, and I now want to make sure I'm gonna move this so it's around the edges. And now I'm gonna do a little bit of distort, and then we'll end on warp. But distort makes it so I'm gonna line up to the like edges of like where the edges would be. So here's where the edges are: one edge, edge, and then edge. Now we're gonna do warp, and this is where I can try to pull it, and I can still rework some of this like that. I'm not gonna get too hung up on it, because once we have the clipping mask on, it won't be so bad. Or not the clipping mask, the blending mode. Sorry, I'm like trying not to block view. I'm doing a really terrible job at it. Okay. So now we have the page somewhat lined up to where we need it. And now I can put on multiply, and now there are words on the page for her to read. Now I can, of course, you know, I can stretch this larger if I want, so it's more like that. And then I can still distort and keep it on the page the way we'd want the text, and erase what we're not using. So I can do something like that. I might do that just size-wise. I think that makes the most sense. So I'm going to go over to the eraser. I am on the medium blend, so that way it's a soft eraser edge. So it's not like a super harsh line, and just gently take out that. I'm just softening up that right there. But I don't know. Let me do warp, pull this over a little bit. Okay. And then I'm going to duplicate and see if I can just reuse it by flipping it horizontally on the other side and resizing stuff. So let's flip horizontally, move it this way. No, it's not gonna work. Vertically, maybe? I could do it this way. I'll do that. So I'll go like this. I'm going to use distort, move this way, and move that way. And then I'm going to use warp. And now I can just, I'm going to combine these, and then I'm also going to make it a clipping mask for the book, so that way I don't have to worry about it going off of the pages. So there we go. If I want, I don't think it's an issue here, but if it was showing up here, I could just take an eraser to any place that was showing up that I didn't want it on the entirety of the book. You only liked it on the one side? Let me see. What do you guys think? I mean, obviously, forget that part. But... let's see. What I can do for now is just erase this. And then erase this. For now, I'll have both sides. I can always erase if we decide otherwise. I'm going to put this here and then use a clipping mask so that way it's there. And I can see real quick if any other, I don't think any of the other ones are really going to look that good, but we'll try it out anyways. This one could look good if I didn't have that in the middle, which I could erase, but... overlay could look good if I wanted the paper to be brighter and lighter. I could also just paint lighter underneath on the actual book itself. Magic. Magic texts, and I can have letters just flying up from the texts. So I'm thinking we can do multiply, and then here we can also do a little bit lighter. Bring this down. Why aren't you showing up? Is this not light enough? Is that why? Are you mad at me? Do I need to do something like this instead? I don't know that I necessarily like the lighter though. I think it looked good dark, but that's just potentially me. What do you guys think? Okay, I like the story behind the one side. That's good. We'll see what everyone comes up with over the next couple days. See what the consensus is. Still need to do some more golden light down here, but not too much. I think it's a good place to stop. Like I think I need like, you know, a mental break to like see what is and isn't coming along. I was planning on doing some clay, but I think my brain needs a break. However, tomorrow I have this color. I really want to make pumpkin pie. I'm going to make a pumpkin pie with my clay. I am a huge pumpkin pie fiend, and I will be making earrings that are pumpkin pie. Ooh, yes, a pale reflection could be cool. I love that. Yes, and I'll also show you guys how I would do some raindrops on here. Yes, I'm thinking tomorrow, like I might do like a live just specifically for clay. And if you want to hang out, great. And if you don't, that's okay. We can do digital art after, but I want to explore this more. I had so much fun doing this earlier, and it's horrible. Like I have a lot of, I don't know if you guys can see this, but there's a lot of mistakes. There's fur in it from my shirt, like fuzz. And there's a lot of texture I didn't mean to accidentally put in there. But it was my first time, and I had fun, so that's all that matters. Ugh, I wish I had a time. If I do, so what I can say with certainty is if I do a live, it's going to be closer to 4 or 5 p.m. Eastern Central. No, I always say Eastern Central. Eastern Standard Time, sorry. And that's just, depending, like when my husband gets home, him and I can tap out, he can watch the kids, and then I'll come up here and do some art. Oh, awesome. Yes, let's do it. Let's clay together. I am very excited. I have a lot of things that I want to do. I've never tried it, so. Yay. Well, thank you guys so much. Wow, that came out sounding really sarcastic. I'm sorry. I meant it. I have a hard time sometimes expressing myself, but thank you guys. Oh my goodness, it is late there. Well, sorry, words, focus. I can do this. Thank you guys so much for being here today. I appreciate your support, truly. It's so bizarre to be in a time where I can do art and people actually want to see me do art, and that's wonderful and great, and I really enjoy it, and I appreciate you guys in that journey. But not that late. Yeah, it's around 7 p.m. here too, like 6:40ish almost. Oh, thank you. I'm not done yet, but thank you. So yeah, I'm talking and all over the place, aren't I? Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't. You can check out my other socials if you would like. I am on TikTok. I'm on Insta, but my Insta account is just refusing to grow. That's okay though. That's okay. This is the end of the stream, but I'll be back tomorrow. And if you want to see more of what I do, you can check out my channel. And yeah. Okay, guys, make sure you take care of yourselves. Basic needs, get those met. Drink your water, eat your food, rest, take meds if you got them. I know I do. And do one nice thing for yourself today if you haven't already. Oh yeah, I do try to go, if I can go live in a day, I try. I think it's good for community building and just hanging out and creativity and accountability. So thank you. I hope you have a good evening, and I'll talk to you guys real soon. Bye, guys.